driver's ed class. Because in the state of Connecticut, they make you, I don't know if it's the same in Massachusetts, but they have certain classes that they must attend for hours, and he had no choice as to the date. So he does apologize, he can't be here. But Rabbi Bruce came in July of this summer and really had an amazing vision for the school. He took about 6 months to develop his mission statement, and he just presented it, I would say about a month, 6 weeks ago, to the staff. And I really wanted to base my presentation today on his vision statement because I think it really wraps up what we do as a school. It's really a three-pronged vision statement, and his notion was that Jewish day schools offer, especially in secondary, on the secondary level, an opportunity for students to be holistic people, to really develop their characters as well as be prepared for college, but really gives them a foundation for lifelong learning. And so the vision statement is three-pronged, and the first section is about Jewish leadership. And we obviously educate the new generation, but as leaders and in the Jewish community, what does that mean? I'm just going to give you a few examples as I get to each section so you can really see how it manifests day to day. Our vision is that we as Jews have a moral obligation, and we want to exemplify that to the world. So one of the ways that our students are given the opportunity to do that is we have 3 separate opportunities for students to go to APAC conferences. We had the highest per capita showing at the APAC conference I guess it was March, the beginning of March, I think it was March 8th. Of all the students, there was 15,000 people there, and 2,000 of them I think are students from several different schools. Of our school of 57 kids, we had the highest per capita group there. Wow. So they learned an endless amount of skills in addition to Israel advocacy, but also how to defend their thinking, what they really believe in, their steadfast love for the state of Israel. We also had a lovely several programs this past week, which were for Yom HaShoah, Yom HaZikaron, and Yom HaAtzmaut. We were honored to have a speaker come in, Rabbi Philip Blazowski. He came in and spoke to the children about his story. He was a partisan in the woods, and he gave them his book, his memoir. And part of that program, we were donated yahrzeit candles, and in each candle there was a story of a child. And the children had to do a little research, and the whole program was brought together with our feeder school students. They were invited to come in, I believe it was the 7th and 8th graders, and they came in and all did interactive program together for Yom HaShoah. And for we do an amazing job with Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut because we have a lot of amazing teachers who can come in and make it real for them. We had a party on Yom HaAtzmaut and lots of Israel love, around the building. One of the new things that Rabbi Bruce wants to bring is interfaith programming. We think it's really, really important for students who are in the bubble to understand how to interact with all sorts of different types of people. And we are actually blessed to be in a area that has a lot of private schools, that has a lot of faith-based schools. And so we are partnering probably it's going to happen next year. We're starting the talks with different faith-based schools, and we're going to have an interfaith garden. And we have a beautiful campus, as many of you might know, saw a glimpse of it in our video. We're going to have a garden where the students come together as an interfaith program to take care of the garden. So that's the first section of the mission, the second of the vision. The second section is about our educational program. One of the strategic focuses in order for the long-term success of any day school, but specifically a regional day school, is enrollment. Obviously, we can't run a school with declining enrollment and increasing tuition because then kids won't come. So what Rabbi Bruce is really focusing on and really getting the faculty to partner with is making our program excellent. Our program will be easy to sell, and it'll be automatic that people will choose us, not because they choose Jewish Day School, but in addition to, they choose an exceptional secular program. So he is focusing on investing in our people. That's what he calls it, investing in our people. So we do professional development more seriously now. So much so that we've hired a professional who's an expert in secondary education at the University of Hartford, who's coming to work one-on-one with faculty to reinforce what they're learning in ongoing professional development sessions. We had a professional development day in January with the day schools that are in the Hartford area, which was a joint faculty professional development day. And we already have on the books for next year a professional development day with all of our feeder schools, including Lander Grinspoon. They're all going to be coming together. We're going to do a professional development together, and it's going to be focused around technology, I believe, and all the 21st century educational buzzwords. But our faculty are especially lucky because we have hired someone to help them actually implement the professional development within the classroom. We also are trying to implement a system of learning management systems within the class. This was very much jargon to me when I first learned about it. So excuse me if it seems like gobbledygook to you, but basically it means that students can interact more freely with their teachers outside the classroom. It can be a very easy way of individualizing the attention for each student, and that's another focus point that we want to be a selling point on. Your student comes to HHNE because they want to choose, I call it choose your own adventure experience. They want an opportunity where a faculty member is going to be able to focus on the things that they need to improve on. Not what the class needs to improve on, but what the student needs to improve on. I don't know enough about learning management systems to really talk much more about it, but I do know that it's going to help this in terms of being a more advanced educational environment. The last point in the educational system is that we are implementing more systemized assessments, so that, I guess before it wasn't as formal, but we are going to be implementing a system where each student will be assessed in order to choose their next step. So we'll be focusing on the student, not focusing on the class or focusing on the curriculum. It'll be focusing on where that student is individually and how they need to grow in order to proceed to the next level. So the last point of the growth management, the vision statement, is this idea of growth mindset. Has anyone heard of growth mindset? Growth mindset is sort of a psychology term. It's the idea that someone may have a fixed mindset if their mind is set on the fact that they can't do math. That's me. My whole entire childhood just kind of discounted the fact that I was ever going to be able to be okay at math. I'm a fundraiser, by the way, so I need to be good at math and or at least be comfortable with numbers. And the idea of a growth mindset is that whatever you work hard at, you will succeed at. And so what we help our students do and what we exemplify as professionals is that we realize what we are not as good at and we need to focus more on that. And there's no stigma attached to it. It means that you are aware of your strengths and weaknesses. And if you're aware of your weaknesses and you work extremely hard at them, you're bound to succeed. If you're a hard worker at anything, you're bound to succeed. So an example of that is we are going to be switching up the schedule for next year so that we have longer periods. And the idea behind that is that the teachers can spend more time on their given subject in a period. It'll be an hour instead, or 50 minutes instead of 35. And so it's a longer period, but also there's a lot of benefits to it, but also the faculty will be there more full-time. The faculty will be there in the building more often together, so they can collaborate together. It's very important that our teachers, I need to cut off. Okay, just one more, 30 seconds? Okay, so the collaboration is what we want to show, and that we can define the skill that our students need to work on so that we can provide an individualized approach to our students for them to succeed.
I'm going to request that we all look at this video